Hi, what's up, everybody? Giancarlo here at Eternity's Portal in Bainbridge, Georgia. We got Battle Spirits. We're very excited about Battle Spirits. We're brand new to it. It's a brand new game, and we've very recently started devoting time. This was my first locals ever, and I was lucky enough to take it actually. And I played white, which is a cool deck. I kind of just looked up decks online. Shout out to Eggman. He posted a bunch of deck lists. I looked up control list. I very much like control players, control decks and games. And then I was able to get some tournament promos, so I was able to actually make the deck better. So we'll get into it. We're gonna start with four bulletfish. I'll basically start with the like the early game, right? So these are all basically like turn one plays you can make. We have Bullet Ray, Pegasus Guy, and Snowflake. They all do several different things. This is just a vanilla. He gets very big very easily. So you could play him on turn one, make him a 5K. That makes him attack and block very well in the early game. We have my favorite card in the deck actually is Pegasus Guy. I know it's not his real name. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, some of these names are kind of dumb, so we're gonna have a lot of nicknames. So he's got armor, red and purple. Obviously, those are, really good keywords. And then during your opponent's attack step, if he has the soul core, he can block spirits with two or fewer cores, even exhausted. So again, in the early game, he can attack while also blocking. So it's very strong. And then we have Snowflake and protection from red, armor red. And then if he is a level two, when he blocks, you can bounce a confront or a curse. So all of these kind of serve the same purpose, which is early game board presence against aggro decks, which is very nice.
Also, too, yeah, exactly what he said. Aggro Lex, hi, this is Will with Eternity's Portal, joining Chesco here. But I was playing red against him, and it felt like it slowed me down as at the push.
Exactly, yeah. Alrighty. And we're going to get into the promo. I was actually really lucky to be able to get these today. We have the Axe Spider. So he has armor purple yellow. So what's cool is that this guy has red purple, this guy has purple yellow. So other than there's, you don't have protection white, but you do have a lot of bases covered through these cards. His effect's also very strong for his level two. Neither this spirit or any spirit with the soul core can be destroyed by opponent's destruction effect, result of battle, and they cannot have their cores removed by your opponent's effects. So just a very strong card against purple with all their destruction effects, against red with their volcanic, just any type of spot removal, very strong. And the fact that it can not be destroyed as a result of battle is crazy, because you can basically play these very early and just have a very strong board. It's going to be very hard to remove them, basically. Incredibly strong promo, in my opinion.
Good little scoop right there.
Yep, exactly. We got the Odins. Odin is super cool. If you have a Nexus, he refreshes on your opponent's attack step, and then attack or block, bounce with 3 cost or less. A little bit, I would say this is your mid-game package. Along with the Buffalo build. This is your mid-game package where you can attack, bounce, refresh, block, bounce. He has a pretty decent-sized body, 3 cores for a 5. That's like pretty nice. And then he helps you control board. Along with Buffalo Bill, the level 1 and 2, when it blocks, return a 5 cost or less is very strong. Really good tempo. And then his level 3 is kind of crazy. All spirits with the when this spirit block effects also activates on attack. That includes himself, so he can go attack bounce. He pairs really, really strong with one of your late game cards, but he basically just opens up a new avenue for the deck. Very, very strong card if you can get that level 4. Playing 3 Divine Moonsky Beast. Fantastic. This is what I'm talking about the names. It's too long. We're going to have to come up with a nickname for this guy. Divine Moonsky. This is a super interesting card. So during this turn, this spirit cannot be destroyed by your opponent's destruction effects as well as battle, and it cannot have its cores removed by effects. That's when it blocks. So you have an infinite blocker. They can remove it with an effect, but again, you pair that with this Axe Spider, and it's going to be very, very difficult to remove. And then it's level 2 and 3. At the end of your opponent's turn, if you do not lose a life, place 1 core from your opponent's life into the trash. It is kind of difficult to attack. You want to leave all your guys in active mode. That way you can block, 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 and that way you can still do damage without being aggressive and attacking. Really great aspect, really great control card. This is exactly the card I like when I'm playing a control deck. It gives me the ability to play the game at my own pace, and now I'm still like forcing my opponent to play the game at my pace because I can just block and not die and then still take your life. This is a super cool card.
So we're just gonna call that Moody Mooney because it changes the mood of the game.
Yeah, Moody Moody.
Moody Moody.
Playing one dual gun. This dude's cool. Basically, I'm just speed through his effect. Based on how many nexuses, white cannot be blocked, and you can just pick himself. So if your opponent's at 1 life, play him, pay the soul core. If either player has a nexus, swing for 10. It can't be blocked. And then there we go. Like that's game. So the reason you only play one is because he's kind of a game closer, and you don't want to see him you don't want to see a bunch of these because this is not an aggro deck. But when you play him, you can just select like these two guys, swing, swing. That's game. So really strong finisher basically. Another really powerful big ass guy. We got Mech Beaks, Fortress, Elephant. When destroyed by an opponent, draw 3 cards and place 3 cores from the void into your reserve. So draw 3, ram 3. Holy shit, that's crazy. His level 2, perform a refresh after your attack step. So let's say you have a nice board, a couple of these guys. You go attack, 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 in step, refresh, 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 block, block, block. So super strong. He's a big guy. When your opponent wants to get rid of him because that level 2 is so strong, and then when they get rid of him, you get a bunch of resources to play with. So just super good card. Obviously he's a very late game card because he's an 8/4, but really cool. Another cool guy, another big boy. We have our Armored Dragon Ship Enterprise. Protection, armor, red, purple, white. That's a lot. When the spirit blocks, refresh it so it can block and then refresh. That pairs really well with our Buffalo Bill because then it gets that on attack. So it attacks, refreshes, and then double blocks. Super strong combo here. I like to think of white as building a house. You're establishing all these little pieces that work together into something much bigger. And you can build some very, very unbreakable boards in this deck. So really cool effect. And then his level 3, all your spirits get protection, armor from red, purple, and white. So again, we're very much our bases are well covered. There's a lot of armor in this deck, a lot of protection from certain colors, a lot of blocks, I really, really like control decks. This card's very cool.
So white is your castle.
White is my castle. Yeah, I'm building my castle.
Now this ass card right here. Excuse me, guys.
Yeah, this is a very interesting card. So basically it's the only Nexus I play. So the free Nexus part is when you block, you get +1. So obviously we're blocking a lot. That's just really helpful when it comes to keeping our creatures on board and an aspect of board control. His second effect is so cool. During your opponent's turn, when your opponent draws outside of the draw step, they must discard. So not only is this protection, but it's also resource denial. That is very cool to see in the card because I can devote resources to it to prevent them from getting their own resources. It's really, really interesting card that way. 3 suppression. Select 1 spirit. It gains +3 DP. During the turn, if you spend the soul core as the card cost, this spirit can block while exhausted. Obviously, that pairs really well with our card that can't be destroyed, so we can just block, 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 block. Just really, really cool concept there. Playing Burning Force. This is anti-aggro, anti-red. Just select 2 of our opponent's card spirits with 3k power or less and kill it. Just an anti-aggro card. It does cost 5 because we don't actually play any red cards, but just get the hell out of here. We don't want you to attack us, so I can just clear your board with that. 2 Star Blast draw, just card draw. You can burst it or you can just pay the 4, and it's just a resource gathering card. For Ice Shield, I don't know that I need to explain this one too much because everybody plays this, but it's Ice Shield. Yeah, that's it. And
No explanation needed.
3 Dream Bomb. This card's super strong. Burst when you lose a life. So like one of your opponent's Nexus, return it to their hand. Then you can pay the cost. You can pay 5. Select one of your opponent's spirits and return it to their hand. Really, really strong early game because if your opponent is taking time to establish a Nexus, establish a creature card, and then when they attack you, you Dream Bomb them back. You get a lot of positive tempo off of this card. So these are kind of like your anti-aggro magic cards, whatever you want to call them. So That's white control. We are new to the deck. We're new to the game. So, as we get better, as we play more, as we encounter different situations, I'm sure there'll be some tweaks and some changes we want to make. But this was a really cool, like I said, this was my first locals. This was a really cool deck to play at my first locals, and I'm pretty happy about it. I like this color a lot, and I think I'm going to stick with it. So, everyone, thanks for tuning in. And if you are in South Georgia or North Florida, check out Attorney's Portal in Bainbridge, Georgia. Everyone, thanks for watching.
Thank you.